Welcome to 2024 and a new year. Hopefully this will be a good year for everybody. Got a lot of things going on our end, and I'm still going to stick to the same schedule of about every 2 weeks of putting out a video. Trying to do something weekly right now is just, it's not going to work, and it's, I think, too much for me to put on myself at the moment with everything that we have going on. Not much has changed in the shop over the last month. I do have some more stuff that I'm working on. I'm also back in school, finishing off the woodworking design class that I started last fall. I've also picked up a couple other classes, one which is personal projects, which allows me to have access to some of the equipment which I'm going to take advantage of with doing some of the milling that needs to be done. It's just a lot easier if I have access to a jointer, a wide belt sander, you know, a 36-inch planer, stuff like that. Stuff that I don't have here. I'm going to be using that equipment to do some of the major milling that I need to do, just to save myself time, make it more efficient, and allow me to produce a little bit better work. My planer is awesome. I still use it. I'm going to be using it. But at 13 inches max, it makes it difficult to do some things. And quite frankly, I want to be lazy and be as efficient as possible. Working on over the last few weeks. However, it's not turning out the way that I really want or like. So I'm going to be starting over on that. I will finish the one that I'm working on. And right here is a display shelf that I've been putting together for some of the rocks that I've collected over the years and stuff that I've been given. For the most part, it's turned out the way that I want it to. I'm using black walnut and hickory for this. But as you can see, there are a couple slats that are just not quite aligned the way they should be. So I'm going to work on getting that fixed. And for some reason, one of the clips I'll show you with the dry fit, everything seemed fine. But now, once I go to put everything together, I'm about a 1/16 of an inch off on the top and the bottom. So this is not going to work. I've got everything planed down, ready to cut up. And hopefully over the next week, I can be able to get that finished and get this done and restart the process. So that's kind of where things are at. Weather out here has been absolutely horrible. We've been into the teens at night. The garage, yes, I do have a heater in here, but we don't have any kind of insulation up in the ceiling. I will be fixing that this spring, maybe early summer. I've got to do something because right now it's ranging between 47 and 52 in the garage, which is just a little bit too cold to be comfortable working. And even though our unit is a 1-ton unit for the heater, and I think you guys have seen this, it's really struggling to keep up. I've got the temperature set to 86 degrees. I don't want to go higher because that's just going to completely ramp up my energy bill. But we're working on a solution to make sure that I can actually comfortably work in here year round. I think once we get the insulation in, that'll make a difference. But again, it's going to be a few months before I can be able to do that. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of ash milled down and ready to start working on for one of the projects for our living room. That's going to be the next one. This is going to be probably one of the more difficult projects that I've worked on for quite a while. I'm planning on pushing myself and using some techniques that I'm using in school that I have not been using here in my shop, and so hopefully we can be able to get things a little bit better. As you can see, the walnut and the hickory has already been milled down for the rebuild of my display shelf. So that is going to be next. I've got to get that done. I want to get this out of the way before I start working on another project and get myself sidetracked. But other than that, we are pretty much ready to go for the next year. I've got the plans drawn out for the redo for my garage, for the cabinetry. That I'm hoping I can be able to start working on the main workbench, which I'm sitting at now. I'm hoping in April or May I can start working on that. One thing I have done, and I've kind of fought myself on this for a little bit, but I have started a Patreon page. I don't have any real benefits put up there right now. Hopefully over the next few months I can identify some stickers, some merchandise that we can be able to put up there for Patreon members, and identifying some merch that I can be able to put together for my channel as well, just to help increase the income. I do have to be careful with what I do because I don't want to run into any issues with the city, but I think if I'm careful, we can be able to make it work without much of an issue. The Patreon is more for a way to help with providing materials for what I'm doing and be able to provide a little bit better equipment for my shop and also for making videos. As many of you know, or if you know anybody who is in the same position I am with being a disabled veteran, being able to work for somebody else is not always easy, and the fixed income that we are allocated every month sometimes doesn't quite cover everything that needs to be covered. So Patreon will allow me to have access to additional help to be able to provide for supplies, materials, stuff like that I'm having to save up for a month or two to be able to get additional wood, or sometimes even buying a bottle of glue is like, okay, well, I've got to wait a couple weeks or wait a month before I can be able to get that. So this is just to help out a little bit and provide me a little more resources so that I can be able to actually do what I'm trying to do and provide you guys some good content. As we get going, I'll keep you updated. The shelving system that I'm going to work on for the living room, like I said, it's going to take a few weeks. You're going to see parts of what I'm doing over the process of it. I'm not going to wait until the entire thing's done, as I have done in the past, just because this thing is going to take significantly longer than what other projects have. But I appreciate you guys joining me. Let's make this an awesome year. I hope everybody's able to achieve some new goals and be able to push themselves a little bit more than what they've done in the past. And here we go with some clips for the project that I'm currently working on, and I'll come back in a couple weeks, have the new one rebuilt, and you can see the differences in what I've done and why I've done that. I wanted to use box joints for this shelf, and so I used the box joint jig that I have. It took me far longer to set it up than I thought, and for some reason I never did get the joints to match like they should. So this time around I'm doing a variation of a dovetail that's going to require a lot more work by hand.
I taped each of the boards together so that I could be able to get corresponding or get straight dados on each shelf and the sides. Next time, I'm going to put together a sled for the table saw that gives me a little more stability, a little more support, because some of these turned out to be just a hair off. This was a fun part of marking where each divider goes between the shelves and getting the spacing correct, getting them aligned. And this is where I found I was a little bit off using measurements. So I need to find a spacer that will help make sure that I'm getting these set just right and have the distance between the dividers the way they're supposed to be. I thought I recorded cutting the dados for the dividers into each of the shelves, but either I never hit record or I lost the footage somewhere. I just can't find it. So next time I'll have to make sure that this does get recorded so you can see the method I used to cut the dados for the dividers. And as you can see with the dry fit, everything seems to be just about right. I did have to change where a couple of spaces or dividers were set, but for the most part, everything matched up the way it's supposed to. It was nice and tight, and everything looked fairly even. Each set of shelves and dividers had to be glued in individually, starting from the middle out. I glued them in, got them clamped, had to wait about an hour and a half to 2 hours between putting in the next shelf because of the temperatures in the garage. It just took that long for the glue to actually set before I could move on to the next step. And here's the finished shelf. When I redo this, you'll see the difference.
But thank you for watching. I really appreciate you watching my videos. If you can like them, share them, help me grow my channel, that would be absolutely phenomenal. I would love to be able to get to at least 1,000 subscribers this year, so that we can actually start making some money off of the videos, off of YouTube. I know it's not going to be very much, but in my case, even if it's an extra $200-300 a month, that is something that would be substantially helpful and be able to help us grow quite a bit more. Again, thank you. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos, and I'll see you on the next one.